Here is a quick breakdown and showcase of how our tailored running plans work. So on the screen, you're going to see our spreadsheet for our running plans. Now they're completely tailored, so that means they're specific for you based upon the information that you provided when you applied via our Google form. So essentially what you have here in column A and B is your date and the day. Okay. Then we have your macro cycle phase. So this may be 8 weeks, it may be 4 weeks, it may be longer. It's essentially a bigger picture look at your running plan, and it could be split into multiple macros. Then you have your 4-week block focus. So this is your training blocks along the way of your plan, whether you're just doing 16 weeks, 12 weeks, 20 weeks, completely up to you and what event you're planning for. You'll then see your total weekly kilometer change, long run distance increases, running intensity changes, running frequency changes, and then even the training week. So this is kind of the template that I have used to create your training plan. From columns K onwards, this is where specifically we have your plan. Okay, so I'm just going to hide a couple of columns just to make it a lot easier for you to see as I demonstrate. Now column K onwards is your specifics of your running plan. You will notice here that you've got different types of runs within column K. You then have the distances that are planned for you, and then the paces associated with each run. Automated is a time or a pace that I want you to be running at for that specific run. You'll also notice whether it's continuous, an interval, or something slightly different in this column here. Now anything that is colored is typically something that you will fill in, so you can then start giving some feedback upon what you actually do. I can then see this, and then we can have further discussions within a WhatsApp community that you would be added to. Now if I move past the specifics of your run, there's some more information on the specifics of each run, and then maybe even the zones and the type of trainer that you would use. Now you've also got another section where you can provide some feedback based upon your run, how it felt. This is really good to help you build the awareness of your running itself and what is happening. Then you have a complete nutrition section. Now this is a nutrition add-on. It is at an extra cost, so this is on top of the running plan itself. Now this is where we will design your nutritional intake, carbohydrate intake, protein intake, and actually give you a bit of a macro breakdown. So here you can see typically your BMR. So this is an example of one of my clients, their total daily energy expenditure and their calorie target based upon their movement and their goal. Over here you'll notice a carb loading protocol, so there'll be different carb loading protocols for you throughout your training. Different training blocks will have different protocols. Again, anything colored is where you're going to be filling in the information based upon what you've been doing. For your carbs, your proteins, and your fats, you'll notice that you're going to have a range to work within. Okay, it's not about hitting a specific number. We're trying to hit a range, and then you'll start to learn how to accommodate and move things around yourself. So it's more of an educational process having this plan as well. You then have some other ratings such as nutrition quality, sleep quality, and then some recovery comments that you can fill in. So more and more feedback that allows you to become more aware of what's going on with your training program, and more. Then column B, A onwards, this is the strength section. Now this is another add-on, comes at a slight extra cost again, but if you want your strength training included, or at least some guidance towards your strength training, this is what would be great for you. Now column BA is a bit of a breakdown on what you would be doing on each day and each week of your plan. As you can see, we've got some maybe mobility, breath work in here on the Monday. On the Tuesday, we have a hinge pattern, a lunge pattern, and maybe a lower leg and foot movement or exercise. Over here, you've got some instructions. So for example, on this Tuesday, we've got a hinge, a lunge, and a lower limb exercise. So 3 exercises in total, 9 sets, a total of 3 sets per exercise with a mixture of rep ranges. Your first set is going to be a warm-up set of 12 to 16 reps, you'll see here, and then the following 2 sets are at 4 to 8 reps. So you've got some instructions. So as you can see, it's not a completely tailored strength program, of course. If that's something that you want, we can design that for you. But of course, it does take a lot of time, attention, detail, and therefore it would be reflected in a more bespoke cost point. You can also then put your strength comments in here and a rate of perceived exertion and how that session went. Out of 10, how difficult was it? Now, that is pretty much everything that will be included in your plan. It's very, very detailed. You choose the amount of weeks depending on what event you're training for. As you can see, as I scroll down here, you can see the progressive overload throughout the plan, whether it's going from more base building exercises, base building running, into something more detailed. That would be the exact same with the nutrition. It will complement your running, and the same with your strength. It will complement your running and your nutrition. So this is a really quick breakdown on exactly what you're going to be getting from our tailored running plans. Like I said, if you want something more bespoke, we have options available, but this is a fantastic start if you want to start maximizing your potential with your running and really start mapping out that path of awareness and building that education around running, around what you should be doing. So this is a fantastic product. I look forward to seeing you the other side. Once you've filled in your application form, I will then send an invoice over to you for the corresponding amount of weeks that you have applied for, and then I can get to work on your plan.